Welcome to another tutorial from Design by K. Today we're gonna make a small elf sock. I'm gonna show you one, how it's gonna look like when we finish it. It's gonna be looking like this. Okay, for that we're gonna need some green yarn. We're gonna need some red yarn, a little scissor, a needle. I'm using a hook size 3.5. The reason I do that because this is yarn from the Netherlands, and it's not really a worst weighted yarn. It's more like a 3. So I'm using a 3.5 millimeter. If you're using a 4, so worst weighted yarn, then you can use a 4 millimeter hook. And a little bell. But that's for the end. We're going to start with the green. We're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to start by chaining 31. So we're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31. Okay, we're going to start by crocheting in a second from the loop, and we're going to make single crochets. So in a second from the loop and just a single crochet, and you're going to repeat that till the end. So if you are at the end of the row, you will have 30 single crochets. And if you want to make them bigger, then just use 2 strands of yarn. And if you do the worst number 4, then you can use a 6 or 6.5 millimeter hook. And if you want to make it smaller and you use it with thread, then you can use a 1 millimeter hook. And if you do it with cotton, use it too. Just use a half a hook shorter or lower to 1 hook than your yarn is asking for, because this yarn is asking for a 4 or 4.5 millimeter hook, and I'm using a 3.5. And number 4 yarn is asking for a 5 millimeter hook, but then you can better use a 4 millimeter hook. Unless you crochet really tight, then just stick to the 5 or to the one asked on the screen. Okay, first row of single crochets, and chain 1, and then in the first stitch, so not in the chaining 1, but in the first one, you're gonna make again a row of single crochets, and repeat this until you have 4 rows of single crochets of total. So we have now done 1, we are working on the second one, so after this one I have to do 2 more rows of single crochets. So finish the 2 rows of single crochets, and at the end of the 4th row I will coming back, and then we're going further with the elf sock. Okay, I'm at the end of row 4. If you want to make a Christmas stocking, it's the same pattern. I got this pattern from Nancy, a friend of mine. I make some adjustments to her patterns, but just a few. I just make this a little bit bigger, and later on she did 5 slip stitches and I did 6, so just 1 more. So, but if you want to make this one, then you have to start with red, and instead of 4 rows of single crochets you're gonna do 5, and after that it's gonna be the same as the elf sock, and there's a small difference later in the border, but I'm gonna show you that later when I'm there. So for the Christmas socks you're gonna do one more row of single crochets in red, and for the elf we're gonna do it different. We're going to row 5 now, so you're gonna chain 1, and then in the first one you're gonna make a triple crochet, so that means yarn over twice, pull 2, 2, 2, and then again a triple crochet, so yarn over twice, going to the next stitch, take your yarn, yarn over, pull 2, 2, yarn over, 2, 2, and yarn over, and 2, 2. And then in the next one you're gonna do a double crochet, the next one a half double crochet, and then 22 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And then in the next one you're going to do a half double crochet, then a double crochet, and hold on, and you need 4 stitches at the end, so I counted somewhere wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4 left, and then in the first one half double crochet, then a double crochet, then again a triple crochet, and again a triple crochet in the last one. So you get here a little point, and here the points looks a little bit less, but if you're gonna later we're gonna sew it and then it will match perfectly. Let me try if I can change the position of the camera a little bit, that maybe you can see it a little bit better. We're gonna chain 1, and the next row is the same again as for the Christmas stocking, only here you did 5 rows of single crochets, and here at the end and the beginning we make it a little bit up, so you will get that little point later, as you can see on your elf stocking. Chain 1, and in the first 6 you're gonna do a slip stitch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in the next one you're gonna do a double crochet, and you will do that in a total of 18. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, And 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I think I did one too many. Doesn't really matter. Most important is you have here 6 single. You did 6 slip stitches on one side, and you have to have 6 left on the other side. And let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I did one too many. Doesn't really matter if it's 18 or 19. I think I did one too many in the chain already. So I've got 19. If it's okay, you're gonna have 18. Chain 1. Normally they do chain 2 or chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet. I don't do that. I don't like the holes it will give. So I'm going to chain 1, and chain 1 you never crochet, you never count as a stitch. And I'm just going to make a double crochet right away in the first stitch. And you're going to repeat that till the end of the row. So you're going to have 18 double crochets. Or if you make a small mistake like me, then you're going to have 19. Normally I would take it all out now, but that one stitch isn't that bad. Probably I started with chain of 32 instead of 31. I counted somewhere wrong, and I think it's about 15 and 16 that I counted one double. So yeah, I feel a little cold, so and for the Christmas stocking, it's the same now. The only row what was different was row 5 with a single crochet. So let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. But for the Christmas stocking it's the same, only row 5 was different. Here we made with a triple and double and half double crochet, we made a little point. You don't need that for the Christmas stocking, so you do here 5 rows of single crochets, then slip stitch in the first stitch, 18 double crochets, and leave the 6 remaining unworked. And then you're gonna do, including the first row where you did the slip stitch, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of double crochet. So we have now done 2. So we're going to make 2 more rows of double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet right in the first. And as you can see on this side, the moment I'm going to come here and I'm going to straighten up, then it's going to be a nice flat line without big holes. So I prefer to use that way now. Get some more yarn. Yep. So 2 more rows of double crochets, a total of 4 rows of double crochet, including the one where you did where you start with the slip stitch. So when we reach row 4, the end of row 4 of the double crochets, I'm coming back, and then we're gonna go further with the sock. Okay, we reached the end of row 4. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of double crochet, chain 1, and we're gonna end this one with 1 row of single crochets. And again, for the Christmas stocking, it's gonna be the same. The only row again that's different, that's row number 5. and you use another, of course, another color. We do it for the elf sock. We're gonna use green, and for the Christmas of the Santa stocking, you're gonna use red, or pink, or purple, or yellow, or whatever color you want. But most will use red. Okay, we're gonna fasten off. Leave a long tail because we're gonna have to sew in the pieces together. So fasten off with a long tail, and that's part one. We don't need the green anymore, just a little bit later. And take your needle, your yarn needle. Oh, I'm stuck to my little wheel. And this is the right side, and we want to have the right sides facing each other because we're gonna later turn it on. And we're gonna sew these sides, this side, the short sides here, and the long side at the bottom. We're gonna sew together. The only thing that we don't sew is here, the top. So make sure you line them up nicely, and then with a whip stitch you are gonna sew your two sides with each other. Just make sure you go to both sides. Line them up here again, especially with by the point. It's really important that it's the same at the same spot. The better you line them up, the nicer your point is gonna be. Okay. Punch on each other. Oh. Reaching the point of the shoe. It's not working for me. Here on the point, and then the short side. This piece I'm gonna weave in later. Just make sure that these points also match again. You can also, if you don't want to weave it in, you can also lay it flat on top of here and just whip stitch over it. And then the bottom part. You can do it also like this, then you don't have to weave it in. I think that's long enough, so I'm gonna cut this little piece. Don't need it anymore. And then finishing, make it a little bit longer. Just whip stitch the rest. And again, this is also for the Christmas stockings, exactly the same, except with red. So the green is done. I have here a little bit green left. I'm going to use that later to put a little bell on it. Okay, now you're going to put your little sock inside out, so that the right side, sorry, is out again. Get your little point, make sure it's all stuck out. And then we have the basic of the elf sock. That's also the same for the Santa sock. Then for the elf sock you're gonna go further with red, and for the Santa sock you're gonna go further with white. Same hook size. And we're gonna make 1, 2, 3 rows of double crochet. That's also for your Christmas stocking, mini Christmas stocking. So I'm gonna attach it here in the middle. I'm gonna chain 2, and then in every stitch I am gonna make a double crochet all the way around, and if it's correct then you will have 18 double crochets at the end. Sometimes people have 19, it doesn't really matter. So if you have 19, just continue, it's not the end of the world. I made 2 Santa stockings now, and it also depends on how far, when you sew the ends of the parts together, it's always also a little bit when how far do you do the whip stitch. Do it a little bit further, then you have the 18th. If you do it close to the edge, then you will have 19. Just in every stitch 1, and then it will be okay. Let me get me some more yarn. Take that later. Otherwise I'm gonna have a big hole. And then I'm not gonna slip stitch in a chain 2, but in the first double crochet. Okay, chain 2, double crochet in the first one, and all the way around. And after that we're gonna make 1 more row. So we're gonna have 3 rows of double crochets. So at the end of row 3 I will see you back, and then we're going to do the finishing row. Okay, we reached the end of row 3. I'm going to show you how do you do the last row for the elf stocking. For the Christmas stocking, the last row is just a row of single crochets. So chain 1, single crochet all around, fasten off your yarn, weave in the ends, and fold it over. 1, and you have a little Christmas stocking. You can make a little loop here, just attach your yarn, chain about 15, attach it here, weave in the ends, and you have a little loop. I'm going to show you later on how to do it with by the elf stocking. The elf stocking is a little bit different. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit so I can show you better how to do it. Let me go a little bit here. Here. Okay, for the elf stocking you're going to chain 1 and then one single crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then here in front you have 2 loops. You're gonna put your yarn through of your hook through there, yarn over, pull those 2 loops and to the other loop on your hook. So you're gonna pull them to 3, and then a single crochet in the next one. And then you have made a picot. In this case I do only a chain of 2. Normal picot is chain 3, but I think for this one it's too big. So again, 1 single crochet in the next, chain 2, go through both loops which are in the front, yarn over, and pull through all 3. You have to help it a little bit, and then a single crochet in the next. Let me zoom out a little bit here again. So we're going to do that all the way around. So single crochet, chain 2, let me get some more yarn, chain 2, go through the front 2 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3, single crochet in the next. You can do in every single crochet you can make a picot, but it's going to be too busy. So first single crochet, chain 2, and pull it through. Finish it all the way around, and at the end of the row I'm going to show you the end result. Okay, we're at the end of the row. Cut off your yarn, fasten off, weave in your ends. I'm just gonna cut them short because I weaved in while I went, and then fold over until you reach almost the green part under it, and then the only thing you have to do is to attach the little ball on top of it, the way I always do it. Let me get a little bit smaller. Just going on one side in it and the other one on the other side, and then you attach it, and then it's gonna look like this. If you want to make a loop, just attach your yarn here, chain 15, attach again. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you with another tutorial of Design by K. Bye bye.